Hey guys, what's up? I'm the Code Site, and today I'll be doing part 4 of the From Beginner to Expert scripting. Today, instead of doing a tutorial, which we are kind of going to do because I'll be explaining things along the way, we are going to be making our first game from things that we have already learned and some things that I'm going to teach you today. So first, insert a script into server script service. Let's call it server. Remember to capitalize it. And delete hello world. Let's use the game.players. Player admin. We're going to set player as the variable, well, PLR, and we're going to set a new folder for data. Local data equals instance.new folder, PLR. What this does is it instances a folder and makes it a child of the player. What this means is it creates a folder inside the player, so it'll be like a folder called data. Let's actually make it called data. So data.name equals data. Let's do local kills equals instance.new int value inside the data this time. This does is it creates a number value, except it can't go below 0, that's why it's an int value inside of the data folder that we just created up there. Let's do kills.name equals kills and kills value equals 0. Now what we're going to do is, once that's done, we will play test this. Don't run, actually play, so your player will join. And if we don't have any errors so far, that is good. Let's insert our player, and there's a folder called data with the kills value inside. Right now, I'm just going to make a very quick sword. I'm gonna be like a katana, I guess. Let me see. That and set the material to where is it? Foil. And then on top of it, the same thing, except it's going to be blue. And the method. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Scale this up. Bring this up here, so it looks like this. And what we are going to do is we're going to clone this, and we're going to put on top, scale it down to brief, then we're going to do this. Now the position. Alright, we are perfectly in the center. Now I'll clone this, move this up here, and make it 2 studs wider on, actually I'm going to make it 3 studs wider on each side. Not studs, but like 0.15%. Bring this up, and I am going to get the size, so it's 0.2. I am going to be getting a wedge. The size is going to be 0.2. What I need, I'm just making a nice top for this sword right now. Let's move this down. Let's make one. way around. Let's put it just a bit more on each side. Now we're going to make it nice. Alrighty, there is our sword model. I'm going to go ahead and make it all to metal. And I'm going to union it, not negate it, union. There. I'm going to call this handle, and you'll see why in a second. Workspace, we're going to insert a tool, and we're going to rename it to sword. And we're going to put the handle inside of the sword. You can see that I automatically made a touch and trace. If you see welds on any of the parts while you're building or inside the handle itself, delete them, because those are bad. So now I'm just going to scale this down, and I'm going to build a rate 4 size comparison. Yeah, like that's way too big, as you can tell. There we go. So now let's try putting this in here to see how it would grip. Not the best grip, so let's move it out there. Let's use this tool grip editor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grip to just about there. And now that is done, let's just put this inside the dummy again. You can see how the grip is much better. Now that is figured out, let's bring that out of the dummy, delete the dummy. Let's insert a folder inside the sword. Let's rename it to scripts. And let's add a local script. Actually, before we do that, you need to separate the handle, because I did something wrong. I'm going to get all the blue pieces on the top. Give me just a second. Alright, so we're going to get this and we're going to union these. This is going to be called the blade. First the parts we're going to union, and we are going to call this the handle. Cap lock on. By the way, make sure it's spelled like handle the exact same way and capitalized the same way. So now let's readjust the grid because I think I reset it. Yep. Now let's go ahead and do this. And let's just make it a little bit like that. Yep. And there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a weld constraint into the blade and set part 0 in the properties of the weld, the blade, and part 1 as the handle. I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to put in the handle. Instead of having part 1 as handle, we're going to set part 1 as blade and part 0 as handle. Just a second. I'm going to have part 0 as the handle itself. Oops. And part 1 as the blade. Now these are welded together. And we are going to rename this script to activation script. And we are going to do local sword equals script dot parent dot parent. Local blade equals script dot parent equals sword dot blade. And local handle equals blade dot parent dot handle. going to set a comment up here as bars, which stands for variables. I'm going to write line and stop line, parentheses, the code site. So now I'm going to have an activation function. Yep. Now sort.activate connect function. Nothing needs to be parsed here. And what we are going to do is we're going to do, well, have a custom function for an animation. Animation function. Now let's do local anim equals instance new animation. Animation ID equals RBX asset ID / Remember that this is in quotation marks. Let's do local load in players local player character load. Let's do local player equals game local player local player. Because now local load in equals game dot workspace player dot name wait for child humanoid with a cooldown time of 2. We're going to do load animation anim. Then we're going to do load anim colon play. Now we are going to indent all this. I'm going to drop line here for an end. I'm going to indent the load anim again. I'm going to drop line. I'm going to do local function anim function. Let's do this. Now down here we can just do anim function. Now that this is done, when we activate, it'll run an animation, except we don't have an animation ID. Let's go ahead and create a dummy and do an animation ID real quick. Break, block break, animation editor, custom swing, anim, the code site. So now, for frame 1, we're going to have to right hand out as a 95-degree angle, because that's what it's going to look like when it's activated the first frame. What we are going to do is we are going to bring this up. We're going to rotate it this way. Then an extra few milliseconds. We're going to bring it this way. Like this. And right here, we will reset this to here. Just about. So now, let's see how this looks. Reload the animation. Anyways, guys, I'll be right back. I am AF. Alright, you guys, I'm back. I took a short break. So anyways, now with this animation done, let's give another test. Yep, looks pretty good. So now, what we are going to do is, we're going to set the animation priority to action, and we are going to export it. The description. I'm going to copy paste the ID by clicking these double squares. Close out this, delete the dummy, close the animation editor, and make the output to its normal size again. Now back in the script, just put the code after 2 slashes. So now, this should work, and we should play an animation when we swing, well, when we activate the sword. which happens when you click, of course. Let's go ahead and give it a playtest. We are loading in right now. Whoop, we have an error. Interesting. Let's try one. Wait for child. And let's highlight blade. Let's do this. Let's add timeout of 2. Do the same thing for the handle. By the way, whenever I use a wait for child, always set timeouts too. It's a good timing system, I guess. Now, we will be moving in. Da 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 da. Loading in. Let's wait 2 seconds to see if it didn't error. 1, 2. Alright, we are good. Now let's give this a swing. Alright, that works. Let's change the sword's orientation. Let's not do that. That would get advanced really fast. Anyways, now in the scripts we're going to add a normal script instead of a local script. We're going to rename this script to touch. Let's do script.parent.touch. Let's do script.parent.parent call wait for child blade touch on connect function hit. Now what this does is when the blade is hit, we don't want the handle to do it or else you'll hurt yourself. When the blade is hit, it will run this function and it has a hit, and that is it basically creates a child for a split second, and we're renaming it the hit. It'll put the hit thing inside of wherever it got hit. That's the way I like to think about it. Now we're going to drop 2 lines up here, and we're going to do made by Unstoppable Man. The codes. You can also just go ahead and put your name there because you're writing this script and it is your script. So now in the bars we are going to write debounce equals false. This is so you can't spam the get killed in like half a second because it's repeatedly touching you. If debounce equals false, then if hit.parent wait for child humanoid is not equal to nil, then. Alright, so what we are doing is we set a variable for debounce, which is false. And when it's touch, we are checking if debounce is equal to false, which it is right now. And if hit.parent wait for child humanoid is not equal to nil, then we'll run this. So let me explain what that means. So if this hits a person, the hit will be inside the model of the person. So the hit.parent will be the actual model itself, and we're waiting for a child humanoid. And this sign means not, and then if you add the equal sign to the end of it, it means not equal, and nil means non-existent. So we're checking if it exists. The humanoid is part of the hit, basically. Then, inside this line, we'll set debounce equals true. How are we doing on time? We're hitting 20 minutes. Expect this to be like 45 or an hour long, but it will be worth it once you see this in full activation. So now, let's do, drop line. Let's do local, give me a second. something real quick. Etiquette of variables. Now let's do local hum equals hit dot parent colon wait for child humanoid with a timeout of 2. Let's add timeouts of 2 up here as well. This basically means it'll wait 2 seconds before airing if it is not existent by then. And let's do hum colon take damage with parentheses. It has to be exactly like this or whatever you had hum as, and then put that down here. Then you'll put a full colon, not a semicolon, a full colon, then capital T, AKE, capital DAMAGE in parentheses. Now put however much damage you want to do in here. So right now I'm going to write damage inside of here. In the vars we're going to write local damage equals 25. So now what this will do is the person will take 25 health away, while the person will lose 25 health. Let's do a weight of 1 and the bounce equals false. That way you can swing again. Let's go ahead and build a dummy yet again. And let's go to test, and let's click play here under the arrow in the test section. Or in the home section, just press test here, well, play here, right in front of the dummy. To see that the animation works, let's go ahead and do this. So as you can see, it does 25 damage to the dummy over time. Now let's go over some really quick. If you have tools, unless these are meshes, you might want to set can collide to false on all the parts that you will be holding. That way you cannot get stuck inside the person, like I just did. Let's go into the activation script inside vars. The activation script, not the touch detector. Let's do local D bounce equals false. And inside the animation function, let's add a wait 1 at bounce equals true. Let's go inside this function, let's delete this line, and we'll do if dbounce equals false, then make sure you have double signs, because we are checking if something is. Like, if it is values, and when you're checking, you always have 2 signs, unless you're just doing a simple less than or greater than. It's always like that otherwise. Now, we will be doing anim function. So now, let's test this again. Interesting. Inside here, we're going to do dbounce equals false. Let's set the wait time to 0.75. That way you don't have to wait as long. And that's plenty of time for the animation to run as well. So now, we are approaching on 25 minutes. Time does go pretty fast while you're having fun. It's not lie. Why is that not working? Let's go ahead and rewrite the script. I'll keep the variables. Let's get rid of all this code. Let's do anim and activation function. ACTIV. There we go. Not with the little. Let's do sort dot activate colon connect function. Gonna do a local anim equals instance dot new animation. And let's do anim dot anim ID Yep. Let's do no, RBX asset ID / 10 paste it. Do local load anim equals let's drop line the var and let's do local equals game.workspace player dot name. Wait for child. Humanoid. Or player dot character load animation. No, not load animation. Wait for child. There we go. So copy and paste this line, or just copy it right there. Now let's do local load anim equals load animation. Let's do load anim play. We're going to wait 0.75 and then debounce will be set to false. And we're going to drop 2 lines here and we're going to do debounce equals true. Let's do if debounce equals false, then drop line, do an end at the very end before the one of the parentheses, and let's just end it all just so it looks better. So now this should be better. Let's try it. We have an error. Oh, that's stupid of me. I'm gonna try to set a variable for that, but I forgot. So let's do animation ID on line 18. That was silly of me. Sometimes you forget about what you're doing when you're scripting if you do so much. So now you can see that we cannot span the animation. It waits for the animation to end before it does it again. Let's make it so you can only hurt people while it is activated. So now let's add a bool value into a tool. This is going to be called is activated. Make sure the value is set to false already. Inside scripts of the activation script, we're going to do after debounce equals true in the and activation function, we're going to be doing. Actually, let's set a variable first. So let's do right under handle. Let's do local is activated equals wait for child is activated. Let's do is activated dot value equals true. And after the wait we'll drop line, let's do is activated equals false. This just toggles the value. Now in the touch detector, let's actually make it do something. Now after this line, we're going to write, actually in the bars, for the debounce, we're going to do local sword equals script.parent local is activated equals sword. Wait for child is activated. Am I spelling it right? Having issues in scripting is not fun. Not fun at all. So anyways, we'll do if is activated dot value equals true, then And at the end, before all these ends, let's end. Get rid of the tab there. Let's keep this tabbed out and let's tab all of these. There. So now your script should look like this. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Not that big, but like that big. Anyways, that should make it so it'll only work if it is activated. What this means is if you're swinging. Ooh. Hmm. Sword dot. Sword dot is activated. Let's try that again. There's an interesting error. Usually wait for child fixes errors. Apparently not. Never mind. Whoop. Is there? Yeah, but doesn't this have a value? Attempt to index Boolean without. Yeah, that's what you want to do. Is it not? Set the adult value. This is odd. Why? Oh, right. There was a bug down there, anyways. I found the bug that wasn't even in the output in the first place, so that's interesting. No errors. So now let's look inside the character at the sword. The is activated value. Well, I guess we'll get rid of that line of code because it's not needed unless it's activated. Hmm. Let's try this now. Let's scale this up just to be cool, I guess. So, we'll run this. Hopefully, this will work. Oh, it doesn't. That's the thing about scripts. Sometimes they'll work, sometimes they'll not. Let's get rid of this end. Let's get rid of the if statement for it is activated. Let's get rid of all the tabs here. Or the indentations, or whatever you want to call them. On the activation script itself, let's just get rid of this line and this line. Now it should work again. Alright. Yep, it works. So now, say you want to make a shift the sprint animation. Not animation, but system. Well, close out everything here, including the workspace. Let's go into Start Player and into Start Character Scripts. Let's add a local script. And let's do local UIS in all caps equals game get service user input service. Let's do local player equals game not players dot local player. Let's do local equals game.workspace player.name, colon, wait for child, humanoid, colon 2, or player.character, wait for child, humanoid. Alright, so now we'll do uis.inputBegin. We're going to connect this into a function with key passed. Now, this is UIS, user input service, which is what it stands for, is when a player presses a key, it's that service. Like you would use that for WASD or WASD, whatever you want to call it. And we are just defining the player in the humanoid. So now, what we are doing is, when the input begins for a key with the user input service, it'll run this function and it'll set a variable for the key that's pressed as key. So now write this line of script that checks if it's the key you want. If key.keycode equals enum.keycode dot, now this is where you would put what you want your key to be. So you could have left shift 4 for some reason, I don't know. Let's just put left shift for now. Let's put then after that. Make sure the line of code looks exactly like this. Or if you want to change left shift to another key code, you do that. Now let's do hum.walkspeed equals 32. Now the default walk speed is 16, so we are just doubling that. Now we are going to go outside this function and we're going to do uis.inputEnded. That way when you're done holding shift, you'll slow down. And what we are going to do is we're going to connect into a function key. Now we are just going to copy paste this code. But instead of 32 down here, well, let's put 16. Drop 2 lines up here, and then put my credits here by Unstoppable Plan. What's it called? The code site YouTube. So now let's just add a few comments. Make this look neat. Vars start sprinting and stop sprinting. Right, and let's rename this script to what should we rename it to? Let's call it the shift to sprint. Now, as you can see, when we get out of here, you can see that when we hold shift, we run faster, and when we let go, we slow down. Now, let me test something. Here's the field. Let me change your field of view. Interesting. I don't know how to change your field view. I'll look into how to change your field view. That way your camera gets bigger when you shift and stuff. But that's not a big deal for now. This is extra property of here. Alright, well, I'll figure out how to do that. But anyways, you can make this game public. You can build yourself a map with all the parts and stuff. Just make sure everything is anchored or things will go very bad very quick. And then you can just go ahead and publish this to Roblox. Make it public, of course. And then you can invite your friends to play and possibly even make money if you figure out how to do Game Passes scripts. And I'll show you guys how to do that in the next episode. But for now, I'll be seeing you guys later. Bye!